Welcome back, my fellow Vap Cappers. Today we are here with a brand new tip that a lot of you actually might have missed because this tip flew under the radar just a little bit, and that is stainless steel HELIX, or what some people have been calling the Steelix. And why this tip flew under the radar is because it was released on a very limited edition of 1 out of 100 Rowind stems, which was a variation of the woodwind stem in a different color with no special features. It was all just aesthetics. Even though the stem is really cool and UV reactive, I wanted this video to focus mainly on this awesome tip that Dynavap put out. Some of you have been asking, well, we already saw the HELIX tip. What makes this so awesome? And that's because they took a tip they already had, made out of titanium, and popped it into stainless steel. And in my opinion, this tip got way better. So we've seen Dynavap do this once before with the M Plus tip. And with the M Plus, we actually started in stainless steel and went to titanium. And to make sure that collectors and people buying these parts could know the differences, Dynavap did a very subtle difference between the two M Plus tips. For the titanium version, they added a third O-ring groove, so even if it was discolored from use, you could always tell which one was stainless steel and the titanium. And with this move to the titanium M Plus, I have to admit, I wasn't the hugest fan of this move. I thought the M Plus did really well in stainless steel, that extra mass and heat retention to really make sure it worked through the extra material inside of the chamber. It was also a little hotter on the first hit and just a smidge harsher with the titanium material on the M Plus tip. While I did have fun using the M Plus in titanium, I did prefer the stainless steel. And that was weird for me to say because I am always such a huge fan of titanium. So now we move on to the topic of today's video, the Steelix. It originated from the titanium tip that was released with the woodwind, the HELIX tip, which was a titanium tip. So this time we're going from titanium to stainless steel. And Dynavap kept in form and added some subtle differences so you could always tell the difference between the stainless steel and the titanium one, even if discolored from use. With the original titanium one, we had this X crosshatch pattern through the air holes on the HELIX tip, as well as you see this golden color at the top, which was heat treating to prevent the titanium from scratching. Since titanium is a softer metal and people have been using armored caps since the release of this tip, Dynavap really wanted to make sure your tip lasted a long time and hardened the top with a special laser heat treating system. This time, we have the new release of the stainless steel HELIX, and the differences are very minor. Now we only have one air channel, and you don't have that golden color at the top. Because we don't see as much issue with things like the armored cap scratching the tips of stainless steel. The design is pretty much just the same. There were no other significant design differences other than just material. So once again, here I am with a second Dynavap tip that I'm actually preferring in stainless steel, which is so weird because I've been such a fan of titanium for such a long time. And so you might be asking, why does this tip in stainless steel make such a difference? Why am I all of a sudden a fan of this? Well, it's simple. With the woodwind and the HELIX setup, while it was really good for flavor, in the department of really dense one-hit extractions, it didn't really succeed. And for my lungs, even though they're really sensitive, the woodwind was, as I said, great for flavor, but always left me kind of wanting a little bit more and a little bit just extra kick out of the situation. The other thing with the woodwind is because that's how it came, not that I always have to, and I do love playing Legos, but I did run it in its stock configuration a lot. The way the airflow on this is a little different from other Dynavaps, where the condenser goes up into the tip and you're a little more restricted on the air port. And while this is a great setup to hit somewhat hands-free with no air port and really nice for flavor, just wanted something with more kick. And that's exactly what I got out of the stainless steel HELIX. Because stainless steel is a much heavier, denser metal, it holds heat a lot more and takes a little longer to heat up. So it handles the air ports inside the bowl of the HELIX a lot better because it just adds that extra heat retention to really give me those nice hits out of the HELIX. The other thing with the stainless steel is it's much more reactive in induction heaters. This quickly became one of my favorite tips to use in induction and my FFP. That being said, the design of the HELIX and these little fins do lead to some spicy heat transfer. I've coupled it up on a wood stem like this to really buffer the heat. or down. I also didn't want the same condenser situation that I got out of the woodwind, so I like using this one where it drops the condenser down and really adds an air mixture chamber below the somewhat hot tip, so I really can get that fresh air and cooling before it hits my lungs. Enough talk. Now that we've gone through it, let's go ahead, throw some flour in here. So now that I'm all loaded up with flour, and I got one of my special edition 419 caps on, with my lucky number at the top, we're gonna go ahead, set my FFP at 55. So for this tip and this setup, since there are the holes in the side, what I really like to do is the sip and dip method, which is I just basically put the Dynavap in the FFP and ride the power button until it's ready to go. Sometimes I don't even really... Enough said, let's give it a go. I'm gonna pulse it with some power here, give it some air draw. Alright, well, I really just surfed the clicks there. I ran the induction heater with a little gentle inhale until I heard the first click. And then as I inhaled, I turned on the induction heater to pulse it on, which turns up the heat, and I never heard that second click. But I got a lot of clouds and really good taste out of it. So let's go ahead and check out the AB. A nice, perfect golden brown, super even, no pyrrolization. Really great taste, and I really didn't get any popcorn until just the very, very end. I would say this is a complete win in my book, and I'm super happy that they decided to make this tip out of stainless steel. That's it, the stainless steel Helix, the Steelix, an absolute win in my book. Not to say that I didn't like the titanium one, but boy, do I really think this kicked it up a notch. If Dynavap has another drop and you guys get the chance to grab one of these, jump on it. Because I would say this is a worthy addition to any Dynavap collectors. And thanks for watching. As always, stay lifted. Psst, come hang out with us on Discord.